Well, hello. Welcome to our Crimestoppers of North Iowa. This is our monthly visit that we have with local authorities. And today we, of course, have Police Chief, Mason City Police Department Chief Jeff Brinkley, who's joining us here. We were what's that?
I love it when they're more than an arm length away.
Yeah.
And you're not running.
Yeah, exactly.
We just learned before we went live here that, Chief Brinkley likes to cook a lot, I guess. Yeah. And we're not talking just grilling. We're talking cooking, correct?
Yeah.
There's a difference.
Too, just for the record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course.
Well, what's your favorite?
My body brought to you by CrossFit Chiron and my kitchen.
I love it.
What's your favorite thing to cook, Chief?
Oh, boy. My kids would probably tell you shrimp scampi. That's kind of one of their house favorites.
Sounds horrible, but yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, they love it. There's never any leftovers. Well, I got 2 teenagers in the house, too, so that's part of the reason there's no leftovers. It's more about quantity than quality some nights. And then I like doing like Thanksgiving, like that kind of stuff when we got like 8, 10, 12 different things you got to make. That's kind of fun. I like trying new stuff. I'm ready to get a smoker. I haven't gone down that road yet. I'd love to grill like you talked about, Harry, but getting a smoker is probably the next thing on my, and I know that's going to take some time. That's an art, and I have not mastered that one yet. I got to learn it.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to find out when the next grill out is over at Brinkley's house, and
there you go.
to magically stop by.
Yeah, there you go. I actually this summer I'm hoping to do a shrimp boil too. I've never done one of those. I want to try that.
Oh, that's nice. You ever did one of those where you dip the turkey in the oil thing?
No, I never.
Like 20 minutes later, you're eating one.
Yeah, I've eaten one, but I've never done it myself. No.
Oh, yeah, that's
I can't get myself to do that though. I don't know why.
Yeah,
I'd rather get my green egg out and just do it right there. Chicken, turkey, whatever.
Yeah.
But now everything's about the pellet grills these days. So
yeah. And right now for my schedule at work, mine might have to be with the smoker too, just because I don't always have time to sit there and wait for it.
Hey, before we get into discussing a few things here, just curious, how did the Christmas thing go? You were the porch pirate stuff that you were trying to get, where everybody was sending their packages to the police department. Did that all go well? And did you have more than you thought, or what?
Well, we had no expectations. So it's good to start with nothing, right? We actually ended up having 17 people ship like 39 packages here. And so we were super happy with that. One person shipped like 7 or 8. But yeah, we were really, we felt like it was a success. I think we got a lot of good feedback, and we're definitely going to do it again in 2022. People were like, hey, I would do that, and you should do that again. And so we're going to do it. We did not fill the halls and the walls and everything up with packages waiting for people to come in. And people were really good about coming to get stuff. Nothing got shipped back either. So we were pretty happy with that.
Well, that's good. So when are you going to start it next year? Do you know? Like right after Thanksgiving?
Yeah, we'll probably put it out before Thanksgiving. That way, if people are doing Black Friday shopping, they can automatically have stuff shipped just to us and then come and get it. So, we were a little behind the 8 ball as we kind of dreamt it up this year. But, yeah, we'll get it out just a little earlier next year.
One might say, can you do that all year long?
Yeah, I know. We thought about it, but it's, the logistics of having somebody here after hours, just kind of managing the whole process. Courtney Moritz, our crime victim specialist, is the one who really ran it. And she was here the whole time. But like if she were to be gone on vacation or I don't know, we thought about that. But man, that's a much bigger commitment.
Well, I think, and just to kind of end this conversation on that note, a lot of people need to maybe purchase those Ring doorbells that actually have the cameras and put a camera out there somehow, some way. And I don't know, that's actually leads into my first question today. How much does that footage, how much does it, number one, help you? And can it really, can you get a conviction out of that just by video?
Well, we could, I think, get a conviction on that, but it is super helpful. We had a case last week where it identified a vehicle that we wouldn't have had any information about without the Ring doorbell. Because one of the other people involved in the incident was not being cooperative with us. And so that stuff is gold. And it just puts us on the right path right away. stop wasting resources trying to figure it out and then we put out good information. And so, no, those Ring doorbells, any home surveillance system, whether you're using Blink or Nest or Ring or whoever, like all of those have been helpful to us at different points at different times. As long as you're running them, you got to make sure you turn it on when you leave home. Like some of those other things, like people be like, oh yeah, like my transmitter went down last week. Like some of them have the little brain you plug into the wall.
Oh yeah,
that thing goes down or it fills up, or you have to delete it once in a while just to get the old stuff off. But no, those are all very helpful to us at different points in different kinds of cases.
What I would think that. Well, I've seen you guys put the pictures up, the still photos on your on the police department's Facebook page. Like, hey, we need some help. Does anyone know who this is?
Yep,
I think that's awesome.
Oh, we do too. Crowdsourcing those things are fantastic.
Yeah.
And we usually get pretty solid leads out of that too, if they're from around the area.
Right. Yeah. And it takes good pictures or video that pretty clear quality on that.
Yep. We get dinged on that every now and then. It always makes me chuckle when we put something out and we only got what we got. If we could make it better, we would enhance it for you. And if we could enhance it and read it, we would have already done it.
Right.
To answer some of those common feedback things on social media when you post some of that, like we know, like it's as good as we got, or we would have already put it together, but we do appreciate the public's help and taking a look at those and seeing if they know somebody.
Sometimes I'm just so curious how, we are in a technical world today, and I don't understand how the criminals don't stop and think, oh my gosh, I'm going to get caught. I mean, I know everything's karma, but gosh, I just really, don't you know that there's cameras everywhere? You really,
Yeah.
I mean, if Jay and I tried to do this, you guys would catch us within 2 minutes.
Yeah. Because Harry would talk about it on the radio. That's why.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe what I got away with.
Yeah. Or you might get caught because Jay's texting while he's driving.
Yeah, that's right.
Oh, come on.
It's coming out.
But no, I'm with you. That's why I tell my kids, I'm like, hey, you're on camera more than you're not on camera when you're out and about these days. Like, just be smart about what you get caught doing. So, because you got to answer to mom and dad, and we're going to know.
I think they just probably think they're a little bit smarter than what.
Yeah.
And trouble is, it's like, okay, take your chances, but it's what we
Right.
need to do is find these little cameras on cars right by the catalytic converter, so it's right on the face of these guys.
Yeah.
It's been a month since we talked to Sheriff Pals about that. What's the situation? Were you guys talking about that in the Crimestoppers meeting this month?
Yeah, we have. It's it seems to have slowed just a bit. I mean, we're still getting those reports, not quite at the clip that we were, I think, maybe 30, 60, 90 days ago, last fall. But and there's some legislation moving through the funnels right now at the State House as well, in terms of some requirements for scrap yards, precious metals vendors, those kinds of people who might be buying those, in terms of identifying who's selling them. So photo ID, vehicle description, license plate number, some of that stuff that would be useful to law enforcement on some of those cases too. So I think we're looking at the other end of the market in terms of trying to help us there as well.
Okay.
Wow. I can't believe how big of a business that is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's turned out to be, I didn't know a lot about catalytic converters before this all started, but I didn't know all that stuff was in them until this started.
I'm going to play dumb here. How easy can you actually put one that's been taken off, put it back on?
I don't know. I'm not a car guy.
Yeah, and
we're not criminals,
because they're sawing it off, right?
Yeah,
they take it off.
Take a sawzall or a grinder.
One would think that maybe you could weld it back on, but I don't know. That looks a little dangerous to me, I guess, too. I don't know.
I'm none the wiser on that one.
Okay, all right. Well, I'm glad I don't feel like a dummy now.
Yeah, no, I'm more of a kitchen guy, not a car guy. So,
yeah. You know what? Cameras. We were talking about cameras and catching people. Are cities starting to add more cameras around? That do you not tell people, or are you open to telling people? Or there, are certain buildings, or there. You know what I mean?
Yep, I think you're seeing more and more. I think governmental use of cameras and private citizen use of cameras. I think you're seeing more businesses put them up. I think a lot of what's happened in the last few months and couple of years in terms of like retail theft and some of those kinds of things as well. People are just like, I want eyes on my place whenever I want to look at it, just to make sure that it's okay. And so I think you're seeing a lot more governments doing it. We've done some of it around the city. I think you're seeing private citizens do it at a increased rate now as well. And I think that's all good. I think that's it's good when people don't know when they're on camera if they're up to no good.
Right. That's what would make the criminals, you think, be a little more fearful of trying something.
Right. And that word gets out. Don't do it there.
Right.
Yeah. You just got to have, we have a camera outside. We just got to do cameras on every corner and every business all downtown and everything else.
Yep.
Say, Chief, we've got our good friend Angelina here. She asks a question. I don't know if this is all going to fit in the window here, but I'll let you see if you can read it. There you go. It's kind of small. Curious, any plans on adding a mental health component to the force here locally, like someone with special training to answer those types of calls? I know Iowa has some dollars to expand mental health care. Just wondering if any will go to police.
Yeah, great question. Thanks for sending that one in. We've been doing a few things around here already before kind of discussion got going. In probably 2017, we added a mental health advocate. Now it's known as the Justice Coordinator position in a partnership with County Social Services, who was our social services region at the time. And so that position housed out of the police department with the idea that every day we created a report out of our previous 24 hours of patrol work on people who were with mental health or substance use issues who were interfacing with us in crisis. And so then that person, the Justice Coordinator, would go to work on that and follow up with those people, and she would call them or find them or call their doctor, their provider, their treatment provider, those kinds of things, and start to try to get them back into their support system. The idea was that we would not see them when they were in crisis, and therefore we wouldn't use force on them. They wouldn't get jailed for mental health issues, those kinds of things. And so we've had remarkable success with that, and we're still doing it. So we're in the CICS region now, which is more central Iowa based. We have a Justice Coordinator here still through CICS that's doing that. And then we're also doing some additional training things. We are we'll have crisis intervention training through about a third of the department when we're through with a federal grant that we're working on right now. The idea is with that is some of the, it's slowing the contact down. It's putting some of that de-escalation stuff in front of that, but we're also responding with mobile crisis now. And so when we get a call, I covered patrol this weekend for a couple of shifts, and we had a call of a suicidal female. She'd been drinking. She was intoxicated. She recently lost a family member. And so we were kind of, we didn't want to arrest her. She wasn't really interested in going for medical treatment and probably wasn't going to screen into needing to stay there. And so mobile crisis is a service funded through our mental health region through CICS. And that is social workers that will come to us at that scene to help that person. And so we made the call to mobile crisis. About 15 minutes later, they pulled up and we handed off, we left, and they finished up with her. And so it was really, really great. I think mobile crisis is awesome. And the nice part is we don't have to be the initiator. Anybody can call mobile crisis at the hotline number. And there's nothing, the crisis isn't defined. It's whatever the crisis is for you as the patient, juvenile or adult, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year. And so it's a great service. We're excited about that. And so we're starting to make more referrals that way. We're hoping that as that program catches on in the community, that people will self-call there instead of calling the police. And that is the appropriate place for those calls. Now, granted, there are going to be the, actively suicidal people,
sure.
Maybe some drug or alcohol intoxication issues where our response is first, because we're going to get people emergency treatment that they need, maybe with fire department or ER, those kinds of things. But no, we are really working hard to try to, if we get those calls, making the referral off to mobile crisis or CICS, or Prairie Ridge has their drop-in center downtown. The community health center sits up in the old Decker building there at 4th and North Federal, and we have some good community partners that want to help and want to have some impact if people will let them.
You kind of wonder, how much could be averted. I mean, what's the percentage? I wonder how many of how many crimes out of 10 could be averted that way by just like a team like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think we're on the right track. I think one of the things we learned 3 or 4 years ago when the community health center opened was that a lot of dental pain, tooth pain, toothaches, those kinds of things really drive a lot of substance use. I was completely unaware of that, but there's a huge correlation there. And so now that we have some of that dental treatment available in the community on a sliding fee scale at CHC, I think that's making a huge difference. I think that has helped take some of the burden off the Mercy ER because people can get into CHC and get seen there as well. And we walk crisis patients into the community health center, and they help us with them as well. I mean, we've got some great local partnerships with people that are trying to do good by people that are struggling with mental health.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Jeff, I think that, I'm involved with recovery and
Right.
To have, this country, this area, we've all, first of all, mental health I don't think it's ever going to go away. It's always going to be there. But I just encourage people that are either watching or listening out there to, man, when you, if there is someone that that's going through some tough times, man, first of all, I think you need to be a friend and just talk to them.
Yep.
And then, reach out. You got to talk to them about it or whatever. But it's there. We have the people that can actually help you. And it's just a whole, it's a perception thing.
Yeah.
And people's perception just gets out of whack once in a while.
Right.
We've all done it. Come on.
Yeah.
We've all had thoughts. I mean, our actions basically turn out to be our character anyway in life. And what are you doing? What are you doing? Keep it in check. And I think there's nothing wrong with keeping your family in check, and just doing some good, healthy checkups on your friends, your family. And that's a good way to start. And then you can go on from there after that. But
and I think it's okay. I think, you're not going to plant a seed. I think that's what we're talking about quick here. I think you're not going to plant a seed that's not already there with somebody. I think, as we talk about suicide and suicidal ideation and suicide prevention, if they're thinking about it, you bringing it up to them is not giving them an idea they haven't already had. And so I think, we train on that in the CIT piece of being very direct about that suicidal ideation piece. And, do you have a means? Do you have a plan? When are you going to do it? And ask that. I mean, I think, if you've been around somebody like that before, they're going to be comfortable with that conversation.
Right.
And they're going to appreciate that you're asking, and they're going to know that you're tuned into them. I think that shows a lot of intuition, a lot of emotional intelligence in terms of trying to be that appropriate support. And they're going to pick up on that as well. So wholly second that idea. I think that is the right approach.
And there is a difference between empathy and sympathy. Sympathy is not going to do these people any good. Trust me. It's not going to do them any good. Do not show sympathy, show empathy. There's a big difference, and that can help them in their step forward.
Yep. Hey, I've got that 800 number too. If just to get it in here in case somebody would hear it and use it for the foundation too, for the hotline for mobile crisis is 855-581-8111. So
say that again.
855-581-8111.
Okay. I wish I would have put that. I didn't know we were going to talk about this today.
Yeah, no, I know.
But we appreciate Angie. In fact,
asking that question.
Yeah. She even said thanks here too. So that's great. Well, thanks, Angie, for watching. Appreciate it. And I encourage anybody that's watching this to share it also. And we do this once a month. We talk about crime in general around North Iowa. What was discussed in the meeting?
Well, we've had a lot of cars drive away when people are warming them up lately.
Oh, man.
Came up, and so it's interesting. We'd posted about that on our social media accounts a few weeks ago, and then the other thing that happened in the last couple of weeks is over a couple of days we responded to like 6 or 7 calls where people didn't clean their windows off and hit stuff, or drove off the road, or drove in the ditch, or just And we're like, and our officers are like, they get there and they look at the glass, like you can't even see, like, or they're trying to see through that little hole, right above the defroster where they just enough room they can make the drive. And so,
it's kind of like the guy that wants to hold the mattress on top of his car.
Yeah, right.
I got it.
Same guy, right? And so I think it's really, worth noting on both of those. Don't leave the car unattended, unlocked, those kinds of things when you warm it up, and then clean the glass, at least the windshield, before you go, so that you don't encounter us on the way there because something unfortunate happened because the little hole you were looking through just didn't get big enough fast enough. So those were a couple of things that really came up.
And I see that all the time here in the studios in the morning. I'm going, well, that person's running late today.
Yeah.
That's usually what happens.
Right.
Right. What's nice about having a garage, I guess.
Correct. Yeah, that too.
Take off.
Well, you can always put something across the way. I see they sell those things that you can lay across your windshield.
Yeah.
To keep that.
And you can get the other thing you can buy too is I can't think of what brand it is, but you can buy the window clearing wiper fluid.
Oh yeah.
That doesn't refreeze when you dry. I can't think of the brand on it.
It's not Rain-X,
I've seen it at the auto store, but they you spray it on it, cleans it off, and it doesn't freeze back up like regular
de-icer.
Yeah. So that's kind of cool too. If you got to do it, you don't have time.
That's a $2 or $3 purchase for something that can save your life, basically.
Correct.
Yeah.
Run that all winter, right? So
exactly.
Yeah.
So talking about the cars that disappear. Okay, so how fast can you retrieve one?
Well, sometimes it's really quick because we happen to have a car in the right spot, and there's only so many ways to get through town. We at Joke Point, sometimes we find them. Oftentimes they're gone long enough that we don't pick them up right away. But we'll find them abandoned in a parking lot at Walmart or a big retail store, or they'll get found. Like one got recovered in Sheffield that was taken, I think, from Clear Lake of the county.
Right.
And so it's people are using them for whatever purpose they need to go, or they run out of gas or something that happens too. Sometimes people know the person that took them, sometimes they don't. But you just never know where they're going to surface. Sometimes they wreck them.
Right.
That's how we find them too, but not very often, but sometimes.
Do they take nice cars or junk cars?
It just depends. And sometimes they'll take one and then take another one. So where one was stolen from, you always want to check the lot because the previous stolen might be there. That happens every now and then. So it's most people don't just bring them back and leave them where they found them.
Well, I guess it helps having a GPS on your car.
It doesn't hurt. Yep.
Yeah.
You can buy those, you can get them. Yeah.
Well, a lot of times with those key fobs, it doesn't let you get very far, and then it locks up.
Yep. Yeah. That's a good move.
Yeah.
If you got
a car like that. Yeah.
And it's not like when we were kids, you had the round key and the square key.
Right.
For the door, and one was for the ignition, right?
Yeah. And they had one for the trunk. Yeah, that was for the trunk. Yeah, the door and the trunk.
Yeah.
I would really like to get to that point. I mean, we have the key fobs like we were talking about and stuff. I just really wish that we would all just get to that point where it only knows you. It's your car. It only knows you, and that's all you got to. I wouldn't care if we get into thumbprints and all that. Of course, that'd be kind of cold.
Yeah.
In the wintertime, but you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. As long as the little reader doesn't ice up, right? And then you're stuck out of your car.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
No.
Okay.
And then the other thing that we had a string of robberies here at the end of January. We had 3 of them. Clear Lake had one. They were hitting convenience stores and strong arming them, and we got those all charged up. And so, have a suspect in custody, waiting on some charges with that. So, it was good. We had some good police work on that, based on some follow up that we did a couple of different ways, and figured out the suspect. Got a suspicious vehicle call. One of the officers rolled up and went, "Hey, this car looks just like the one in the photo I just saw," and started the conversation and broke that case open. So that worked out really well too. So nice to have that put to bed, and convenience store employees can rest easy that we're not going to have any more of those for a while.
Yeah. How often does something like that happen? Is it like every year, every couple of years?
I would say it's periodic. It's streaky. When you get them, you get a bunch of them, and then typically it's kind of one person or one group that's responsible for them. But it kind of hits and misses. I'd say, every 18 to 24 months, probably we get a little uptick in those, and usually charge them. And then it, again, you get caught doing it, or it gets out, don't do that. And,
right.
and it slows down. So yeah, that's usually I'd say that's a reasonable timeline.
I think we talked to Sheriff Pels about this last month. I'm going to ask you the same question. Is there such a thing as citizen's arrest?
Yeah,
That's that's probably something we don't want to go down, I suppose.
Yeah,
a lot
I
of
think
legalities.
Here's what I would just tell you. Like, I've had this conversation a lot with people that, carry a concealed weapon and those kinds of things. Like, only as a last resort would be my approach to that. I think, I talk to a lot of cops, obviously, and, like a lot of us carry off duty and those kinds of things. But like, when I'm with my family, my considerations of what I'm willing to do and the safety that could impact for me and for them changes when they're all with me. And so, it's good to have talk through that. It's good to have a plan, but I think, unless people are at risk of dying or really being seriously injured or killed, like be a good witness, get us the information we need to track the person down. I mean, I don't know.
But don't you get a lot of people that want to help? I mean, for the good, or there's just too many that want to help? Maybe I don't know. It's like, let us do our job, okay?
Yeah, and I think as a cop, I've responded to a lot of those where somebody's gotten the bad guy held down. Like, that's cool. Like, it's not, they're just trying to stop the problem. And I totally get that. And I've been to those like shopping mall thefts or bar fights or just where somebody's really suddenly acting, or there's a mental health issue, those kinds of things. I mean, something just happens and that situation breaks out there, but. Yeah, it doesn't happen a lot, but I think, people genuinely want to help, and where appropriate, I think that's okay, but don't make a habit of it.
Yeah, I understand. But you know what? It's just like people doing CPR.
Right.
People want to, I mean, we've had CPR training here, just in case, Jay goes crazy and.
Right. Right. Too many cups of coffee in the morning.
You don't drink coffee. But that's what I'm talking about. So
yeah, no, I think bystander intervention is a great thing. I think there's lots of places that you can use it. Use it when your friend's going to drive drunk. Use it when you can make sure somebody's going to get home from the bar okay, or you prevent an assault or sexual assault or those kinds of things. But it's not always the answer. So I think it's a good for people to think through it ahead of time.
By the way, I know you said I made a comment on this a few months ago or last time we talked or whatever, and good job. The city did a great job on getting all of the construction issue that's down there by the corner of 18 or 122 and 65. You said that they had a plan. And by gosh, granted, it's one lane, and who knows how long this is going to go on. But at least we got a pretty good situation down there now on how to get through.
Yeah, I think it isn't ideal, but it's better.
Yeah, way better.
It's going way better westbound there than I was expecting it to maybe go this winter. So I thought one lane all winter was going to turn into bumper cars, but no, it's actually gone pretty smoothly so far. Knock on wood.
Let's bring this up because it kind of, I heard a little birdie told me that we're going to have a price increase on parking tickets.
We did.
Oh, what? You did already?
Yeah. Okay. First of the year. Yeah.
First of the year.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's get into that.
Yeah. So but there's a trade-off. So it's not all bad. So the part of what prompted the increase was, we've now take credit cards to pay parking tickets. We've been getting the requests for a long time, and we made a few just financial policy type things, changes at the city that allowed that to really be an option now. And so the catch is the fee side. That was going to cost us more to make that convenience available for tickets. So we had not actually had a parking ticket fee increase since 2012.
I know, because I was involved in it.
Oh, were you really?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I paid more. Yeah, I go, what? They're more expensive now?
Yeah. So what we tried to do, and I think it worked out really well, was we took the new fine to the old late ticket price of $20. And then the new late ticket price is $30. But a lot of complaint people had was, well, I can't just call you and pay the ticket. Well, now you can. Like, you call us, you give us your ticket number or your plate number off the ticket, give us a credit card number, done. And so we've started to take those. It seems to be working pretty well. And we hope that we put enough space in that gap that we can leave it before we'd have to consider going up again down the road. So, yeah, we just it was a convenience thing for customers, trying to do the right thing there and also make our operation go just a little bit smoother.
So is it gonna
go ahead?
You gonna have Venmo or PayPal? Is that a little easier?
No, we won't have any of those. We're gonna go straight card.
I don't Venmo Jeff Brinkley.
Yeah. Well, that'd be a lot easier because then I can keep it in there and just hit, repay.
Why do you have the police department on your Venmo?
I think if you do that, I think the finance director's brain starts to melt when you start talking about those platforms.
I'm sure.
I think we got to do the credit card, but I'm not going to push it, right?
Well, I'm going to shock you both on what I'm about to say here. But when I arrived here in 1985 to do radio, I was working downtown. In fact, it's I think it's an insurance building now, but it used to be. It's right next to Reflections down there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
And the fine back then, because we had to move our vehicles every 2 hours and all that stuff. The fine back then was $2 back in the late.
Oh wow,
yeah, $2.
Yep,
$2.
Yeah. I remember writing a lot of overdue parking tickets for $5 in my career. So yeah, I believe you.
There you go.
I believe you.
And now we're going to 20, right?
Yeah.
Is it $20?
Yeah, $20 for within the first 30 days and $30 after. Yeah. And we actually had some comparison data too in the city council memo that put this together. A lot of cities are really bumping up like snow tickets, some of those other things. We didn't do any of that, but there are some communities where it's a lot worse. So I feel like we were pretty fair in just getting to do what we needed to do to make it work.
Right. Hey, talk about that snow parking downtown. That now, when you odd days you park on, for the city or the parking ordinance.
No, downtown's the exception.
Right,
yeah,
that's what
applies. Yeah. Shoot.
But we need it cleaned off, Chief. I didn't know the first snowstorm we had. They cleaned the streets off.
Yeah.
But this last one, no.
I wonder if it got froze on them.
I don't know. It could have done, but
and then sometimes that happens.
I'm not complaining. I'm just like, hey,
yeah, and I'm hoping it's warming up. It all melt, right?
Put on a $20 parking ticket. Non-clean.
Right. Yeah.
Well, Chief, I know you got to go here, and I can smell the Italian food here for your lunch.
So we'll be right down.
Yeah.
Right down, exactly.
You guys be over here about 12:50. There'll probably be some leftovers.
Thank you so much for joining us. Of course, we do this every month, and the information for Crimestoppers is right there, scrolling on your screen right now. For you listeners on the podcast, it's 800-383-0088 or crimestoppersnorthcentraliowa.com. So thank you, Chief, for joining us today.
Thanks for helping us get the word out, and we'll keep running, taking a bite out of crime.
We're out to hopefully beat Joe Rogan's the amount of people. He's got 11 million. We're just short of that.
Yeah, I'm sure. You're in the 10.9 million range, right?
All right. Have a good day, sir.
Yeah, you guys too. Thanks. We'll see you later.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.